Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I today have a old school waterfall card that I'm going to make, but I am going to use dies for this. There is a way that you can do it without the dies like we used to in the old days. I'm going to use the Lawn Fawn flipping awesome dies to create it, but the concept is exactly the same. So you could do this from scratch with a piece of paper and or cardstock. And then the stamps that I've used are Mama Elephant Cool Penguins. I had previously stamped and coloured these in, so I've done a lot of prep work. It's more to show you how to put the waterfall card together, yeah, so that's where we're at. So that's the stamp set. For the mechanism you will need, or for the waterfall, if you're using the Flippin' Awesome dies, pardon me, you will need the main mechanism, which is this long thing here, and it will put all the score lines in where it needs to. And then you will also need there's this sort of larger square which comes with the Flippin' Awesome. I think I've also got the add-on for it as well, which is this section here, but you need 4 of these squares, and then there's 2 decorative ones. You've got like a stitched square, and then you've got this one that to me, especially at Christmas, looks like it could be like icing on a cookie. So this sort of scallop square. So I used this scallop square this time, and you need 4 of those as well. You also need this little or longer piece that is it's got a bit of stitching detail on it. You need 1 of those. And then this scalloped piece, you don't have to have this piece, but I decided to add it just for extra decoration. You'll see when I show you the card base. But those are the pieces that I used. And also for the pull tab, sorry, it comes with this little pull tab, these 2, but in the add-on you will also get 3 other ones. So what I did was I cut one of these for the back, and then one of these I cut out 2 different colour cardstock so I could put the arrow as a different colour to this main piece, and then the 2 layer on top of each other. So I'll show you what I've done there. But those are the pieces you'll need. So if I break it down a little bit further, so this is my card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and it's just in fact I think it came in one of Simon's card kits from a little while ago. So it's I think it's Schoolhouse Red, but whatever colour you want. And then I used some, again from another card kit from a couple of years ago I think, some paper that I thought coordinated with the colours I'd coloured them in. And it's just little presents in the background. And then this is the scalloped piece. So this is actually some shiny, what is this? I think it's from the Confections collection from Tim Holtz. But the green worked with the colours again that I'd coloured these in. I coloured these in ages ago, so I just kind of made it work. And really you could pop this section up on some foam so you've got more room to pull the pull tab. I forgot that bit, so I haven't done that, but it should still work anyway. But yeah, there's just kind of like an extra bit of decoration on it. So I've stuck that all together, ready to go. So that's there. Then I also have my 4 panels. So these are my the little panels and the long one. Depending which orientation you want them, depends on which way your decoration on this goes. What I will say as we go through this, be aware of where this opens to its full place, as to where you stamp. I'll explain that in a second when we start putting together. So there's the 4 little guys all set up and ready to go. And also stick everything flat. You don't want any dimension on any of this, otherwise it won't work. Okay, so this is the piece that cuts out with all the score lines. Now I would score, when you fold the score, fold your score one way and then fold it back on itself as well, because the more movement in there, the better it will flow and move and work, basically. So once I've done that, there is a score in the middle. So that will fold forward like so, and I know this probably looks a mess, but it will hopefully make sense. Then again, depending which way you want to pull your tab will depend on which way that orientation is. I'm doing a waterfall, so I want it upright because waterfall goes down. So if you wanted it more like a, almost like a little book that opens and flips open, then you do it this way. But we're going to do it this side. So on each of these score lines, it's going to be hard to see, but hopefully the tape helps. Each of these scores, there's a piece of tape just within that score line. And I've used red line tape. One, it's handy for the camera, but mostly because it's very strong. I hate trying to take the little bits of tape off, but you know, the backing off. So 3 of them where the score line is sort of above and below, you just want one piece of tape. The last piece, which is really this whole panel, you will need the whole square covered. So basically one of these is going to get stuck flat and the other 3 are going to be on just on this edge here, and that allows them to flip. Then there's these 2 tabs and these 2 tabs are going to wrap around the base, and that is the only thing sticking it to the card. I know it sounds insane, but it works. And then you also have the little, this is the pull tab that I was explaining. So I stuck one of those pieces at the back and then the other one in the front with the little insert just for some decoration. It's the same green there. So now we have that. Let's do I dare pop this on? Let's pop it in place and then we can do the rest. Shall we do that? I always get nervous with cards like this. So I want a waterfall card like this way. So the other thing is this will sit, because they're designed together, it will, oops, sorry, it will sit within those score lines there, but because this is then going to hang over the edge a bit, and I don't like that, I'm actually going to move it up there. Oh, daredevil. So I'm just going to try and line it up as best I can, just under the stitching line because it's decorative, and then that way not too much is hanging off the edge when you want to mail it. Or should I just do it there? No, because then it's also not going to be able to stand up. So I'm going to move mine up slightly, but what I would suggest you do is either use the shorter thingy, pull tab, or put this on a bigger card and you'll be fine. So I'm going to take these tabs off. Right, and then I'm going to carefully, while this is folded forward like this, I am going to remember which way I'm opening my card, but I am going to turn it sideways just so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to line this up, like I say, with this stitching line, as even as I can get it. This is me we're talking about. Does that look about right? About there, and then tuck the tabs in and stick and hope for the best. So now your mechanism is in place, okay, like so. Ta-da! So that's stuck in place, so now we can actually just put the decoration on. That's the easy bit. So I would start with the bottom panel. So I don't know that I've decided which order I'm putting these guys in, but we will see. And in fact, once I've done this bottom panel, I'm going to do the inside one as well. So I probably should have done that one first, but we'll see. Right, so what order do I want these in? So I think I had it somewhat. Should I do like that? Yeah, let's put this little guy on the bottom. So you're just, it should line up. It's this block is the same size as this width and that, so it should just line up nicely on there. But what you don't want to do is go over the score line. But like I say, they should line up exact, and it should be no problem. So that one's stuck completely flat. While I'm here, I'm just going to pull this out. So this is all the way out. So this basically this piece that I'm going to do next will tuck in, get rid of the cat hair, will tuck in underneath this, and that allows it to have a smoother movement of the mechanism. But the reason, so that's the reason that's there. So that's why I was saying earlier that you need to make sure that you know how far down you're going to stick this panel on the back piece as to where you're going to stick things like your sentiment and that. So I hope that made sense. If it doesn't, I can do another video. So this I've just got normal double-sided tape on the back, just because we don't really need, you know, that ridiculous the mad one. Right, let's see if I can do this. Line this up. Somewhat straight and centered in there. There's definitely a cat hair here. I'll fix that later. So that's your back panel. So do you see here how it's not, this edge is tucked underneath here, and that allows it to, she says, that should, oh, because of the image, the more you play with it, the more it'll move. They got a little bit stuck because of the edge of this little image, but the more you play with it, the more it'll do what it's supposed to do. Right, so then I'm going to work from the bottom up, just because it's easier, I think, to do it that way. And so you're going to take your first little thingy bob tape off, and again just line the edge of this not over the score line. So I'm just turning it sideways, so you want to line up the side edges and the top edge here, but not over the score line. And then just press it in place. Do the next one. I haven't made one of these for years, so I hope you guys like it. And then this one will line up just with the edge of the top edge at least. So there it is. That is your waterfall card. Now let's see if we can get it to work. I'm joking. So as you move it, it becomes a waterfall of cards that flip and flap back and forth, like so. This bottom one's catching because of the, so perhaps that's something to just remember. But there you go. Oh, if it'll let me. Ta-da! Do you see? Isn't that cool? I mean, obviously on this back panel, just as another idea, if you'd stamped and coloured the image flat on there, you wouldn't have that issue. It's because of the raised part of the image. But isn't that just the coolest thing? And like I say, so that's the waterfall part, going that way. Now if you had your images going along this side, it would be like a little book, almost. She says. That's going to irritate me, that little thing. Ta-da! It's so cool. The other thing I could do on that back panel, just thinking about it while we're here, because it keeps catching, is to maybe overlay a thin piece of acetate, the same size as that back piece, and that way it will just move with it. So you'd have to stick it underneath this edge, so tuck it in there, and then the smoothness of the acetate will just help it glide better. But there you go. So I hope that was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this inspires you to grab your either your mechanism type dies, you know, your kinetic, I think is what we used to call it, or interactive cards, and have another play with them. Or like I say, things like a waterfall card, they're very, you know, simple to do. We did them without dies in the old days, so maybe I should do a new video making it without the dies. But this is a very, very cool, and it's a fun interactive thing to give to someone for birthday, Christmas, whatever. Kids love it, so yeah. So I hope this was fun. I hope you drag out all your interactive stuff and get playing. And till next time, guys. Bye for now.